Welcome back to the What Life guys. So we have a Zwift race this evening. I've actually cut out half the race because the first half just wasn't particularly interesting. So we're going to dive into the thick of it with the start. Let's roll. This is part of the OG Zwift racing series, the monthly series. 68 people in the group, and it seems like every single one of those 68 people made it into the front group. So we had a massive front group, which kind of didn't make it particularly exciting because it was dead flat. We're racing this in the seas. It's the Richmond UCI course. It's 10 miles, 16.4k long. FTP test yesterday and a few other things going on in my world meant that I'm pretty tired. So I decided to sit at the back for this race. Reasonably swifty start. I think if I keep an eye on my heart rate, it just doesn't really bounce around very much. It stays really low, and I think that's a massive indicator for fatigue and just overdoing it. So as much as I hate resting, I'm definitely going to have to take it easy. So diving into the race, 3 power-ups. You have the steamroller, which flattens out the road. So if you're going over cobbles, it kind of reduces the effect of the cobble. It diminishes the effect of the cobbles to make it like a nice smoothing rolling surface. And I think that helps your speed a little bit. You obviously have the aero, which is what I've got at the moment, which improves your aerodynamics. And then you have the anvil, which adds weight for your descent. And obviously means you can hammer a nice descent. I'll be honest with you, I basically stuck at the back of this massive 12-up peloton for the first half of the race, and I was very happy to do so. My heart rate gets down to like 120 as we kick along. So I think this could be the farewell, or my farewell, to C racing, and I'm going to try and kind of move up to Cat B racing because I think I'll get more out of it from a training and sporting and enjoyment perspective. So we've dived into basically the last quarter of the race now, and this is the hills, 2 hill sections. I wanted to attack this hill a bit further to the front of the group. I thought, considering that where I was, at kind of not very close to the front, that I was going to get dropped off the front group going up this hill. That seems to be what happened last time, but it doesn't quite work out like that, and I hold pretty reasonable wattage. So, massive indicator of overtraining, massive indicator of fatigue is your body still being able to perform, but it feeling like hell. That's a massive indicator of overtraining because your muscles, they are, they're not actually able to think themselves. They can't think. They don't respond to the same way as the central nervous system. You train a muscle recovers, it improves, it gets stronger. So your body will always kind of, or once you are really, or in relative terms, really fit, your body's always going to be able to do what you ask it, but your nervous system's going to feel horrible, and that's what this race felt like. So I almost drop off the front, and it looks like it spreads out, and I end up coming off the top of this hill with a group, and I just say to myself, look, ride into this group and hold it, because it looked like, coming off the top of that hill, that there's going to be a small front pack and then us. And then I kind of saw that the front pack had slowed down a little bit on this flat section. So this is, look, and then I just give it a little kick. I'm like, right, this is my half a chance to bridge. And just nudge up the watts just slightly. And luckily enough, a few guys obviously see that and then come with. And I think that makes a bit of a difference because while I'm kind of catching them, I'm also not too bothered about catching them. So, but then the guys come with. And then I know what my position to do is just basically try and hold the back wheel, last wheel of this group. And I think there was 16 or 17 of us now. And it looks like we are pretty much the front pack. I say front pack. I don't think I can refer to myself as that given that I've got nothing left. So we go up this hill, try and hold the momentum, and then I just have to dig. So my wattage on this hill I'm pretty proud of. I really dug deep. The front guys seem to come backwards and the back guys seem to go forwards, which is sometimes the way. I was just like, look, hold on, keep your nose in the game for the last climb. I've done this race before the other start of the week on Monday. It's now Thursday, so I kind of know what's to come. So I knew this was the second last hill, and if I could stay on the front group, I never thought I had a chance at performing well in the race, but you know how it is. You kind of like every time you think I'm going to stop, then you kind of push a little bit more. So I was just kind of like half willing myself to stay on it. And it looks like I ended up in the front group, which is absolutely like I was dumbfounded by this. Guys come through using their power-ups. I still have my power-up. I didn't use it. I don't know why. It's an uphill finish, which is basically my nemesis. Uphill finishes are my kryptonite. These guys roll off the bottom of the hill pretty quickly. I'm basically, my wattage is not very high coming down here. I'm just trying to hold basically the last wheel possible. And you'll notice that at this point, I'm kind of like top 10-ish. And there isn't a huge amount of the race left, like a K and a half, I think it is. But we're in the front group. I don't want to say miracles happen, because this would be more than a miracle for me to pull off anything other than slumping over the line. And you can kind of see that my watts indicate just how much I'm struggling. The group comes back together, and then on the mini map, it looks like it's basically everyone from this group, and we know that we got right-hander, and then it's just a climb up to the finish, and the finish line is on an incline, which makes it a particularly tough race, but really happy to be in it. So you can see now, mini-map, this is everyone. I think this is pretty much everyone that is now going to be in the front group attacking this last climb. It would have been wicked if the whole race was this amount, 16 people in the front group off the start line would have been awesome. That would have been a cool race. But it didn't work out that way. So the idea is you've just got to kind of hold your wattage coming up this hill. You can definitely hear my clunky Shimano Ultegra gears coming through this. Like, my gear shifting is just like, it's no Di2, just this old school mechanical clunky, drop it down into the small ring on the front, find the right gear in the back. Like, it's just not. And it definitely makes it a little bit harder, but it makes it harder at a time when I just do not need things to be harder. I'm holding a pretty reasonable wattage through here, kind of 300 odd, and my heart rate's at 159, which is low, 157. Like, it's just not going up. So again, massive indicator of fatigue. So what you can't do is say that all these things are indicators of fatigue and then not accept that you need some time off. I think this is it, hands in the air. I've just got to rest, go and have a nice warm bath, big bowl of porridge, and go to bed for a couple of days. The group moves away from me. There's nothing I can do. It doesn't feel like I have any energy in my legs to go after them. Holding a kind of alright wattage, just like I don't know what you'd call this, like a pity climb to the finish, knowing that there's no way I can hold with these guys or move up. But considering how I'm feeling, and there's the finish line. Now we move on to like basically the finish straight. There's enough people basically ahead where I think a few people have dropped off, because obviously I'm sat in 12th. I look at the mini map, and from a personal perspective, I realise that the guys behind me probably aren't going to catch me. I'm not going to catch the guys in front. Just keep turning the chains, make it to the finish line. So unfortunately, guys, not the most exciting race, but I think I did have a lot of time to think about it during this race, and I think I'm going to start bumping up to the Bs now. I did my FTP, came out at 272. So, which is 3.5 watts, or 3.5 watts per kg, depending on how heavy I'm feeling that day, how heavy or how much gravity has been turned on. But I'm definitely going to swap it out a little bit and try and get a bit more from the Zwift racing, because I love Zwift racing, but the bigger races, I don't know, like, I just think, right, now's the time to move up to Cat B. So this could be my farewell to Cat C racing. Thanks, guys.